for joining me again. My name is Ed, this is Ed's Mini Empire, and I'm continuing the restoration of this 1974 classic mini saloon, Mark 3. And in this is episode 4 in this nice little series we've got going on here. And previously you've seen I did some work on the roof. I've got that all nice and prepped now, and I've got all the panels I need. I did touch on that at the end of the last video. I've now also got the rear valance piece, which is here, which you'll see is missing. So I'm going to start working on the back end, so everything from the very back up to here where this new floor panel joins onto. I've got everything I need to make this right now. I just need to kind of decide what order I'm doing things in. And I've decided I'm going to start with the battery box, mainly because it should be fairly easy, breaks me in a little bit, and then I can go from there whether I want to do this end of stuff or this end of stuff. At the minute, we'll get this done, see how long the video is. I'm hoping to get another bit of this in the same video, so I don't end up with hundreds and hundreds of videos of me welding the back end of the Mini. Possibly I'll do something with that arch, and that will lead nicely onto the back end and nicely onto the front section there with a couple of repairs dotted about. But we're definitely going to tackle this battery box first. I'll get you a bit closer so you can see why. Turn the lights on. So you can see where these drain holes are, these bung holes, is very crispy, and it's through in a few places. And it's also very thin around here. You can see a few pinholes just here. It's also through on this lip, and it's generally very crusty, and it's not very good on the other side either. So it ain't worth repairing the battery box. You could repair it. You could put a piece in and drill them holes and replace the bottom bit, but honestly it ain't worth it. Because you can buy them ready done. And this was about 25 quid, something like that. This is from M Machine. They are my absolute favourite people in the world. They are quite local to me. They make all the bits for the Mini. If they don't make it, they can supply it. They do heritage panels, they do magnum panels, they do their own panels. This is one of their own, and you can see it is absolutely brand new, and the quality of it is spot on. Comes with the little brackets for your battery clamp as well. For 25 quid, it ain't worth fixing that one. So we've got that. And with the battery box, you also get these little right angle pieces. You get 4 of them in that bag. Ignore these bigger pieces, they're other bits. But these pieces here, you get them as well. Now when I first did one of these, I was looking at them like, what the hell are they for? But I know what they're for now, and I'm going to show you while I've got the car this way around. They are these pieces, which are like little strengthening pieces for the corners. You see them there? Now on this one, the boot floor area where they are doesn't look too bad. So I'm hoping I can maybe try and keep the original ones in and save changing them. But if we need to change them, we've got new ones. We'll get the battery box out, tidy up the floor area where it welds in, chuck a bit of weld through primer on the surfaces that are touching, get the new one welded in, and then we'll move on. So I'm going to flip the car over the other way, because this is actually welded from inside the boot. I can't put you back. Yeah, so we'll flip the car the other way and we'll start drilling out the spot welds from inside, and we'll push the battery box out, prep the area, get the new one in. Let's go! So we are in the boot area. This is a little bit more difficult because I've got the framework inside the boot here that's supporting the shell on the rollover jig, but there should be enough room for me to work. So we've got some spot welds all the way around, which are just about visible, but I'm going to go and mark them with a pen in a minute, just so I can see them a bit easier. I've got myself a proper spot weld drill bit. You can do this with normal drill bits, but it's an absolute pain. especially when you're going to be doing the amount that we're doing on this, and everything on minis is spot welded together. You really do want to be getting yourself a spot weld drill bit. You can see it's specially shaped there, just to cut the welded part away. So if you're interested, these are the ones that I'm using. They are Dormer 8mm spot weld drills. Very good, them ones. Never had any bother. Right, so I'm just going to get in and pen where they are. Now, with this being British Leyland, they're not always very uniform or perfect or straight. So don't be surprised if you find two really close to each other, or not as many on one side, or one car with more than another car that you might have done. You've just got to kind of take them as they come. So you just hear there's two right next to each other. We do have some blobs of weld in the corners as well, but we'll deal with them at the end. Now, what have they got on that end? Something a bit like that. Probably one closer at that end as well, isn't there? I can't see it. We'll go for that and we'll see how far we get. And yes, I am putting my safety goggles on before anybody mentions the previous video I did. Right, let's go. So these, you want to be drilling through just that top layer. I don't want to be drilling all the way through the boot floor. I just want to be drilling through the battery box. I've done most of them. I've definitely broken through a little bit here, but that's alright, because we can, when we get the new one in, you'll not notice it, but we can also repair it from underneath. So it'll be right when it's done. I've got most of them. Over here, oh, if I stop the shelf from wobbling on the frame, you can actually see how the battery tray has come away from the floor there. So that's exactly what we need. These back ones, I haven't got enough room to get my drill in because of the framework. So I'm going to use the belt sander and just try and grind through this top pit where the spot welds are. It's a little bit messier and a bit more time consuming, but it's the only way I think we're going to get it sorted. In hindsight, I should have done this without the bar in, but whatever, doesn't matter now. And I'm probably going to use either the belt sander or the small grinder just to cut these corners where there's welds as well. But yeah, let's go. So I think we've got most of that. The only way to find out is to give it a go. Now, how I'm going to get this out is with this special chisel. This is a spot weld chisel. Put that light in a better place for you. So you can see it's very thin all the way. It doesn't get fat like a normal chisel. So that means that when I push this in between these two panels, I'll get it under a lip here and under here. That means that it's not going to distort all of this, because obviously we're going to be keeping the boot floor for the most of it. So I don't want it absolutely all shaped. So this chisel helps keep it somewhat the right shape. Start on this end because I knew it was already coming away. Oh, my grinding worked. There we go. One edge off. So I'm going to go this other edge. Still a bit there. It's not the way I planned it, but she's out. Whee! Wasn't too bad. Okay, wasn't too bad. We've got a bit of tidying up to do. There's like where these welds have been still like got little high spots on them, so we just need to clean them off, and the corners where the blobs of weld were, we'll have to grind them off, ready for fitting. I've got a little bit of damage here. That's actually just bent round. Put a chisel through it. Do this cack-handed. There we go. So we need a couple of little repairs there just to make that bit right again. And probably a little bit on that corner. Got a little bit of a dent there, but a little bit of taffying up. But yeah, not too bad at all, really. Whoop. Hasn't took too long either, maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes. So yeah, we'll get that area tidied up with all them bits of weld that I've just mentioned, and repair them little splits to make the panel complete. And then we can start test fitting the new one and decide where we're going to weld the holes. Skip ahead a little bit here, so I only have to get the welder out once. I'm going to drill the holes in this new panel where we are going to weld through. Now, obviously, the original one was spot welded all the way around with a spot welder. Now, I do have a spot welder, it's just down here, but I don't have any arms long enough to reach the battery box from the back of the car, because obviously I need very long pincer arms, and I do have some long ones, but they're not going to be long enough. So what I'm going to have to do is plug weld this, which you reach the same result, it's just a little bit more time consuming. So I'm going to have to drill holes all the way around here, fit this in, and then fill the holes up with the welder, and then grind it flat. So we'll end up with the same result, but it's going to take a little bit longer, but that's the only way we're going to get this done. So I need to drill the holes. So how many did we get in this one? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the long side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. And the short sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the short side. Right. Might be difficult around there. Right. So we'll do 7. I'm just going to kind of eyeball this if I get myself in clearly. Something like that. something like that. So we've got 6 on the short side, 7 on the long sides. Right, I'm going to centre punch these just to make my life easier when drilling. I haven't actually got it in the vise because it won't go wide enough. I've just kind of got it balanced. What I'll do is I'll go with a smaller drill bit and then I'll size it up a bit. Right. Right in the gap. You're drilling. Right then, so we've got all them holes drilled. It's turned out pretty well. I've been over with the belt sander just to take all the rough edges off both sides so we don't have any sharp bits. We've got them holes. I've done them 8mm to make sure they've got plenty of bite. Obviously because it's going to have a heavy battery tray. It's going to have a heavy battery in it. All of them apart from a couple of these were a bit close to the edge. It does get a little bit thinner here due to where this bend is and possibly my wonky drilling and that one as well. They're only 6 but the rest of them are all 8. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a file and I'm just going to knock the edge off. Of all the way around, mainly because it is quite sharp. And these are what I would call unfinished, so these are straight off a press, welded together and then soldered. They're not finished, ready for fitting, so sometimes when you get sharp edges it makes it difficult for paint to stick. So I like to just, before we fit anything, just go around with the file. It doesn't have to be great. Okay, so that's the battery box ready to fit. So we just need to do that a few little returns. I'll get the welder out, do a few little repairs, get some protective paint on this surface and the boot, and then we'll chuck it in. we've done that little repair on that little piece of damage. I've also put a little few zaps on that bit that was closer to the rear panel where it folded round. It's a little bit difficult to repair that properly because it is quite thin, but when the battery box is in, I'll be able to weld from underneath to give that a bit more strength. So now what we need to do is put a little bit of protection on the surfaces that are going to be touching, overlapping, so we don't get any corrosion or moisture or anything in there causing problems. I like this U-Pol zinc weld through primer. I've already done the battery box underneath of it where the lip is. We're going to smash around inside the boot with this now, give it 15 minutes or so, and then get the battery box in, weld it in. It may go wrong because I've seen how much gas I've got on the welder and the gauge is next to 0. It won't take a lot of welding with this, just plug welding those holes up, but we might have to stop if we run out of gas. But we'll see. Should I check that first really, shouldn't I? So fully welded all the way around, and I've even done the corners. Went pretty well. I didn't run out of gas. So we're just going to clean that off with the belt sander, and then we'll flip the car upside down and just tidy up any little bits underneath. Right then, there we go. Battery box is done. Done a little bit of tidying up, especially around here where the can't see where I drilled through by accident. I filled them in now. This will look spot on by the time you get the rest of the boot floor done at the same kind of standard paint and sealer all the way around. I'm going to leave the battery box at this stage for now because I don't see any point in putting paint and sealer around this while I've still got lots of other work to do in the area, because I'm just going to end up damaging it and nicking it and chipping it and whatever and having to do it again. So battery box is done. It's nice to have a good solid piece in the whole situation we've got going on here. Right, so I've been thinking about what to do next, and I've decided that I am going to do the rear wheel arch section. Okay, get rid of that. Now, when I was making the list for the bits that I wanted to buy for the back end of this, I originally put down for a complete rear wheel arch. But I've since changed my mind, and I'll show you what I've got. So the issue we have is we've got a nasty patch here where this subframe heel board is. And we've got some nasty patch in here where the boot floor meets. And obviously the boot floor is knackered and we're going to be changing that anyway, around where this valance area is. Half a boot floor, back half. And obviously we've got some issues going on here with the rear quarter. So we've got a lot of stuff that all ties together. Now I did originally put down and we've got holes all the way around. Holes here, holes there, holes up here, holes in there. I did originally put on my list a full rear wheel arch, but I realised that was going to be quite difficult because I'm bolted through where the shock absorber goes, which is currently holding the car to the rollover jig. So that was going to be difficult to change that while it was still bolted on. But then I found you can get this. This is a heritage panel. This is a half a wheel arch. And it is just that inside bit. All the way to this edge here, which meets the quarter panel. All the way from here to here. But it's not this bit, which I'm bolted through. So that means I'll be able to cut this out, slot this in, and keep all of this bolted together, and hopefully it won't fall off the jig. It shouldn't do, because the whole rest of the boot floor is holding it in, and this will still be bolted on. So I'm going to have a go at changing that. I've never done one of these before, but the reason for doing this next is that will let me cut out this patch here, which will let me move forward later on to do this section. It will let me cut this patch out here, which will let me move forward later on to do the quarter panel repair, the valance, the boot floor, the back panel. And I think if I do that first, that gives us a nice solid edge for both of them repairs to happen next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the grinder out, and I'm going to cut some stuff out. I'm going to cut probably all the way along this edge, down here where that repair is, over here where all that nastiness is, and all the way around. I'm probably going to have to do a bit inside as well where the rear storage bins are, because I'm sure that's welded onto the side of that. And I can get that panel out, tidy up all the edges, and see how the new one fits. And then I'll be able to weld it all the way around here, all the way around here, and just leave this bit not done, and leave this bit not done, until I repair that area, and then I can tie it all in together. Let's do that. Hey, we got it. I'll keep that for reference, but it's pretty chuffed really, isn't it? Now how that's opened up that access massively, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to replace them anyway, because they were a bit rough and they weren't welded to the floor. But now I can get into the back of this quarter panel, I can get into all of this, which isn't very good, and I can get into the wheel arch as well. Woo! Right, we're going to a little bit more unstitching to do down here, and then we're going to be in the boot, and then we're going to be underneath to try and cut that wheel arch out. got that out. It's come out in 2 big sections for the most of it. I've still got some tidying up to do because it's like crimped onto this inner section. And obviously this outer section is spot welded all the way around the edge. So I'm going to have to try and tease that out of there, clean up the edges. Excuse me. However, I think I'm going to change my mind a bit on what order I'm going to do things in, rather. Mainly because I've now got absolutely fantastic access to this bottom piece of quarter panel, which I have here. Now that goes in there. It's got a nice little chamfered bit on it, so that would repair into that corner. Absolutely lovely. So I'm tempted to do that first, get all this edge cleaned up, do this repair, get that in the right place while I've still got this reference, and then I can do the wheel arch, which I have here. That goes in that way. So we're going to have to like slide it in behind this panel and then weld it to this one. Like that. Whoop. But with all that out, it should, we'll get it in. And then we've got all of this malarkey. So we've got, I'll get it away, water repair, which is the full section. Obviously that's too long in a minute. Then we've got this section. I'm gonna have to cut that out because that ties into the arch, and I've got a new one here because that's rusty and horrible. So that goes somewhere like that, arch up and down. And then there's this piece, which is this inner piece. So I'll be able to, and obviously, move this piece, which is the heel board repair, which I'll have to unstitch some of the floor, peel that back, cut it out to get that in there. So yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that little back bit first of the quarter, tidy all this up, do the back bit of the quarter, fit the arch, obviously chop this out, then I'll tackle all of this side, quarter panel, this heel board repair and all these little infill pieces. There's also an infill piece to go inside as well, and then I can get the bin back in. Once I've done that, I'll probably do the other side, so both sides at the same point, and then I can tackle the back as one job. So I'll have the back of the quarters fixed, and then I can do the rear valance and the boot floor and the back panel all as one job. Slightly change of how I was going to do it, but it just makes more sense at the minute to me to get that in there, to get this in here while I've got all this access. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to slice up there, get that slotted in, get that welded in, and then that's ready for the next bit, isn't it? So I'm going to leave this video here because I think I'm at risk of this being a ridiculously long one again. And we'll catch back up in the next one when I'm tackling that little quarter panel repair. In the meantime, I'm going to get this cleaned up. That probably isn't worth watching anyway. I'll get all this bits of arch cleaned up, get that little edge chopped up, and I'll come back for the next video, episode 5, and we'll get that quarter piece put in, we'll get the arch put in, and then we'll move forward from there. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is a bit of a... I didn't get this finished. I did want to get this finished as part of this video, but I hope you understand that now. Obviously, that makes more sense to carry on with that little piece there. But nevertheless, it gives you a reason to come back, doesn't it? So if you want to see how this turns out, you'll have to watch the next episode. But I hope you have enjoyed the episode. My name's Ed. This is Ed's Mini Empire. If you do like the video, please do give it a like. Share with your mates. Please subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 500 subscribers now. I think as of today, I'm on 495. 500 is quite a nice little milestone, isn't it? So let's keep pushing forward. I'm happy with the progress we're making. We've got the battery box in. That's looking lovely. We've chucked a big section of the back of this out, ready for the next big step. And it'll all just kind of come together in one. So my name's Ed. This is Ed's Mini Empire. I'll catch you next time.